Hello everyone, welcome back to another edition of videos. Today we've got continuing our session with the chessable woodpecker method. We are on puzzle 42. This is a match between, it looks like, Jose Raul Capablanca against Mr. Anonymous, always a dangerous opponent in any of these games. So this particular one is a it's a fun one. So basically we want to again, if I'm going into sort of dream positions again, I'd love to have my bishop on this square, as this would create a skewer against the queen and king, so we'd win a queen basically. And in order to do that, we need to move this knight out the way. But the nice thing is, when we move this knight out the way, it comes with a forcing move, so he has to react to this check by capturing here. So that's the solution. We can do that as soon as this captured. We can then play bishop to g6. Okay, so there we go, and that's done. Alright, puzzle number 43. Okay, so now with this one is all about sort of forks and stuff. So the forcing move in this is rook captures here on b6. After the rook captures on b6, because this rook has come to this square, it now walks into a potential knight fork, so this knight can come to this square. Notice as well that we're removing the defender of this pawn to then be able to deliver this knight fork, but it comes with a really strong, powerful forcing line. So after this, now there is some complication in this, and actually black has got some other way that he can play, but even then we should do absolutely fine. So after this, actually what happens normal in this game is they capture this knight here to sort of equalize the material. But after we take the rook, another forcing move, rook captures, we then just start eating up some pawns here. So we go up like a couple pawns and got a winning position out of it as well. Okay, so that is the solution. So we capture here, capture this, and this is just winning. I mean, we're up 2 pawns here. We've got potential power on this. We can actually play things like a4 to pin this pawn as well. So that's another threat that we've got. And yeah, the endgame is just, as it says in the commentary, the endgame is just hopeless for black. He could maybe try something like this, but I think we can do all right if we move our, well, we could just move our king up, couldn't we, and get to a decent square there. Okay, white to play in this one. Okay, so with this one then it's you only really win a pawn in this one, but it's all to do with the positioning of these guys here. I'd love to remove this pawn from this square, as if I can, this rook comes in with a lovely fork. So with that in mind, I need to move this pawn away, and to do that I can take this pawn moves back, and then this rook comes into that square. So that is the solution to this one. And we take the knight. Okay, alright, this is another one that I actually do struggle with. I always seem to get the movement of the knights wrong in this one. But essentially the solution involves the fact that this knight can capture this pawn, and after the king captures, there's a discovered attack on the queen, so we can move this knight back. That uncovers the check, and then we take the queen. So that's the first move. The challenge is, after we capture, black has got a nice counter thrust with f5. So that's a nice saving move. So he doesn't have to take the knight. And after that, I believe we have to just defend the other knight here, and that's just kind of winning. We've got some other threats everywhere. Although actually I say that, no, we don't do that, because after this, if we move that other knight along, This is checkmate, so we can't do that. So how do we do this again? This might be my first wrong puzzle in this. So captures, king captures. No, sorry. This takes F5. Okay, I think we just come back, because if this pawn ever captures, this is great for us as we create this lovely skewer on the queen, bishop and rook. So yeah, that looks like the solution. And in any case, we've just won a pawn. We've also threatening to come in with our queen, sorry, and deliver some sort of checkmate as well. Alright, let's do that. So there we go. And then bishop there. Okay, yeah, so again, that's one I always struggle with for that one, because I just get the ordering slightly wrong. And I always think, oh, which knight to do it? And that's why you have to go with this one, because black's got his own little counter threat along there. Okay, 46. So 46. Okay, I always get this one wrong. I say I get it wrong, but I always get the other knight instead of the right knight. It's all to do, basically, where's who these knights is going to win the game, but they want to come to this square because there's a really nasty fork here with the bishop and the queen. But essentially, both the knights work in this. The idea of being, of course, once we move this knight here, this queen uncovers this attack on the bishop, so we then actually win a bishop out of it. So that's the solution. There is one little interesting line here as well. The bishop will come down here, doubling up our pawns. And if the queen comes down here, although it looks dangerous, actually we've got quite a safe move with bishop to f2, and actually our position's totally fine. So that's really only black's only option to try and get some material back, but it's totally winning for white. Okay, so we go there. Got the right one. There's a funny, there's a game actually later on in this easy section that is totally similar to this position, and it's from a Topalov game. So after this, and then, oops, not the move the king, move that one there. So it's kind of echoes of Jose Raul Capablanca to Vasilin Topalov as well, which is I think that's quite interesting anyway, because it looks totally similar to this one. There's probably a slight difference, but it's the same tactic with those knights. Okay, right, black to play in this one. Okay, yeah, so this one is all to do with the weak back rank. I'd love to have a queen on this square, but obviously these pieces are in the way, so we need to move this queen out the way. And the way to do that is just capture this pawn, and now we've got this beautiful weak back rank mate. Okay, so with this one, we've got some really nice pieces all around the black king, and I'd love to get this this knight out the way, because as soon as I do that, this queen comes into h7, delivering the mate. So we can play a lovely forced move here, which is knight to f7. This is known as a clearance sacrifice. After the rook captures, if he took with the king, well, he can't. Sorry, he can't take the queen. So that's the only move really to stop losing material. You know, if he moved his rook over here, we would just jump in with a knight or a queen, and that's totally lost. So, and also we could just capture there as well, I suppose. But actually, yeah, that's okay too. So now we can move in with our queen. If the king comes there, we've got a lovely checkmate on h8. This is a nice pattern to know. Alright, well, this will be the last one. So what is the answer to this one? Again, okay, yeah, it's all to do with this pawn. So again, ideally, I'd love to have a bishop on this diagonal. Wouldn't it be nice if we had this, because we could create this fork between this king and the queen. So with that in mind, a nice forced move here is rook captures. After pawn captures, we deliver this really powerful fork. So that is the solution. And there we go. Okay, right, so that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. We'll continue going through some more in the next video. Take care, bye.